loves, I'm Tia and welcome to TT's Urban Pantry. Today I am canning up some pickled green tomatoes. I don't know about you. Actually, I can't speak for myself because I don't like fried green tomatoes. But Mr. loves them. And unless you have a garden or know someone that has a garden, it's really hard to come by green tomatoes, and it's especially hard to come by green tomatoes all year long. Well, one of my cousins on Facebook, Tracy, she had shared with me a post about canning green tomatoes. I was like, I've never heard of that, but I'll look into it. So I did a lot of research, and you actually can can green tomatoes. You can pickle them, you can pressure can them, or you can water bath can them with citric acid added. So I did some more research because I wasn't sure how they were going to hold up after they've been processed in boiling water for a while. Turns out they don't hold up very well. They're still edible, you can still eat them, but they're mushy, kind of like green tomato chunks, fried green tomato chunks. So I looked into it more, and honestly, the best way to still get your green tomatoes any time of year and still have that crisp green tomato slice would be to pickle it. We eat fried pickles, so we're going to try some pickled green tomatoes. And what I'll do is I'll probably just let them sit in the pantry for about 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks, and then I will set myself a reminder and I will open up a jar and can one up or fry one up for Mr. So all I did was I took the core out of all of them. That's all you gotta do. And I wanted to make sure they all had a smooth surface when putting them into the jar. So I did kind of slice off the top and bottom. They're all washed and everything. And I cut them pretty thick. I don't know if you can really see how well I'm cutting, but I'm horrible with my knife. Don't message me. I know. Now, because I never have green tomatoes, I don't know, a couple of these are a little pink on the inside, like they're starting to get ripe. Like they're starting to get ripe. So I don't know if those are good or not, but we're gonna can them. I also have some bay leaves and some pickling crisp. This recipe is actually in the Ball Blue Book on page 92, and it's called the dill green tomatoes. I'm not adding any dill. I'm not adding garlic. I just want plain green tomatoes. But I am putting the bay leaf into our jars because bay leaf will help keep them crisp. And then I'm also going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of the Mrs. Wage Extra Crunch crisping agent. Our brine is 2½ cups of water, 2½ cups of distilled white vinegar, at least 5% acidity, don't forget that, and a teaspoon of salt. So that's all we have in our brine. We're gonna start filling our jars, and I'm using my electric canner again. So we'll put I'm not sure how many we're gonna get, 2 or 3. We'll put a big bay leaf down in there, our crisping agent, and see what we can get in there. I tried to get them all small, but it looks like I underestimated the size of the jars. We'll work with it. And I forgot my Headspace tool. Be right back. We want at least 1 inch headspace. So let's try to push these down a little bit. That's pretty good. Maybe get a smaller one on top. I think we're going to run out of brine. So because these are packed in there so tight, it's not wanting to go down to the bottom. And this is a lesson learned. Next time I'll have to get smaller tomatoes. That's all right. And we're at a 1/2 inch. And let's try to do 2 more. I'll probably have to cut the bigger ones because I'm not letting them go to waste. I know that. But like I said, lesson learned. Bay leaf. See? Crisping agent, just throw that at the bottom. No rhyme or reason. Now, can you see this? This one is really red. Put in the comment section if it's too red to pickle or if it's too red to fry up or not. I have no idea. So I'm trying to pick out the smaller ones before I start cutting. Way too big. And this one's a little pink too. I don't know if that still counts as a fried green tomato or if it's just not going to fry up very well. So I'm going to cut these in half and then maybe we can layer them. That works. Layer them in there. And get our brine down to the bottom since it is so tight down in there. Can you see? Well, there you have it. This is not the first one I have broken, and it's okay to use a metal spatula or whatever plastic spatula, whichever plastic or rubber you have. You don't want to use metal because it could scratch up the inside of your jar and potentially cause damage, and it could crack or something. So be mindful of that. But yes, this is absolutely fine. And I still have this. Put some more brine in there and wipe it down. So this is not taking long. These are 1/2 pint jars. They will process for 15 minutes. But in 15 minutes, you got you some pickled green tomatoes. And I will definitely do a follow-up video in a couple of months, or no, in 3 weeks, so we can see how we like the pickling process. I'll open up the jar with you and I'll fry them up for Mister and see how they hold up to a fresh green tomato. If they hold up, honey, I am going to have a couple of these on hand because he is not the only one that I know that loves these. And even though I don't eat them, doesn't mean that I don't get joy, a fulfillment out of seeing someone else enjoy something that I've put my time and hard work into. So I don't have to eat them to enjoy this. I think we might just do one more jar after this one. And it looks like we are going to have enough brine left over. Enough brine for the 3 jars. Using my broken utensil. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw these pinkish tomatoes in there. I don't want to waste them, and I don't really know what else to do with them. But yes, please, if you can tell me, no, you are not supposed to fry those up. They're not gonna fry up the same. They're gonna explode, or girl, they just like the real thing. Please let me know. And then I know what to look for the next time I get some more. Let that soak down to the bottom. It's doing its own thing. So yeah, you can definitely pickle, can, or water bath can, or pressure can green tomatoes. So I will have to thank my cousin, Tracy, for putting me onto this. And that is perfect. We have a little bit left over, but that's not even worth the whole jar. I'll just give it up to Mister. I might just put some oil in a pan and sear it up real quick. I don't know. But yes, I even learned something. I did not know before a couple of weeks ago that this was even a possibility. So thank you, Tracy, for getting me onto that and spurring me to do some research and figure out which exactly is the best method to get your final product, because in the long run I just want a firm tomato that's gonna stand up to the canning process and frying, because after this one little jar does not want to stand up there, because after it's been canned and it's been soaking in that brine for a while, still has to fry. So now what I'm gonna do is turn this from high to canning, and it will start boiling. Once it starts boiling, I will, oh, I forgot to put the diffuser on. I will go and grab it and put that on. But once it starts boiling, we will let it process for 15 minutes, and then I'll be back to take it out. So it's been 15 minutes, and I have turned the dial to off and let it cool down for about another 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll take this off now. This diffuser has a little handle in there. I would say it's the only thing I don't like, because if you are reaching for the handle, it's hot. So how are you really gonna get that out of there? Maybe if they would have made it rubber tipped or something like that. I don't know. Here is jar number 1, still boiling, still piping hot. See how they are kind of in there. Same thing. They have come up to the top a little bit, but not too much. That one's sealed just now. And last jar. These were the ones that were kind of pinkish, that you're going to give me feedback about. But there are our 4 jars of pickled green tomatoes. I'm just going to lay my napkin on top to kind of absorb some of that extra water. I'm not pressing down or anything. I'm just letting the napkin absorb it. That's it. Put the top back on this. It's already off. I will unplug it, and then I'll probably let this sit here until tomorrow because it holds heat really well, and it's just going to be too hot for me to try to fool with tonight. But I'll let it sit here tomorrow, and then I will use the spigot on the side and just prop it over the sink. I don't even have to hold it or anything, and let the water drain from it. One thing about this is the spigot, you do have to unplug it from the inside, so it's dang near impossible unless you're using a fork or a knife or something to try to get it. But you can't put your hand in there. It's just way too hot, so I do let it wait till next day. But here are our 4 jars of pickled green tomatoes. I used the Ball recipe for dilled green tomatoes. I did leave out the dill and the garlic. I don't want any of that taste messing with our end product, because at the end of the day, these are only for frying. We're not going to take one out and just snack on it like we would a pickle or something else. So these are going to be for frying. 2.5 cups of vinegar, 2.5 cups of water, and a teaspoon of salt. That's all we used for our brine, with a bay leaf and a crisping agent at the bottom. So hopefully when we take them out in 3 weeks, which I will do a follow-up video and fry them up and see how we like them, but when we take these out in 3 weeks, hopefully they have held their shape, their texture, and their flavor, and they haven't absorbed too much of the vinegar to where it just tastes like a pickle and not like a tomato. So we will see. Thank you for joining me. Please like or subscribe. Please like and subscribe, matter of fact. And if you have any suggestions on how we can make this process better, or anything you would like to see me can, please leave it in a comment. Thank you and have a blessed day.